I'll say this book is a must for every household. But on behalf of the governor of your state, I will not be able to mention any amount of money because the price of the book itself is difficult to determine. And my dear brother, the first president of Nigeria cannot be on seat while I will be announcing. You know, in Yoruba culture, Arifin Lalejo. So, I'm sure my governor will get in touch with NTV alumni. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We will also get in touch, sir. This can't be dodged. Mr. Vice President, sir, we have reached to where we're going already. The additional item now is the presentation of awards.
That was the Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Rauf Olaniyo, who just launched the book Heritage of Excellence. Shortly before it took the microphone, the book reviewer, Professor Nkechi Christopher of the Department of Communication and Language Arts, University of Ibadan, reviewed the book, which is the reminiscence of some of the men and women behind the bright lights of Africa's first television, the Western Nigerian Television, now Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. The book is also the story of 60 years evolution of the WNTV through the parts played by the individuals in the overall story. It is a recollection from different people which leads to the same narrative, painting the picture of a place of harmony, a brotherhood of professionals with oneness of purpose and memories that live forever.
Honorable awards, ladies and gentlemen, may I be allowed to stand on existing protocol? Thank you very much. These are our awards, which are in 3 categories. The first category is that of visionaries. Our visionaries start, excuse me a moment. Our visionaries start with our esteemed Chief Obafemi Awolowo of blessed memory, and I believe to accept the award on his behalf as the matriarch of the family here. I must pass a side comment, which is that Your Excellency, sir, Mr. Vice President, it is auspicious, not only auspicious, it is strangely designed that it is you yourself, a member of this esteemed family, that will be presenting this award to the progeny of this esteemed family. I'm sure everybody here understands the nuance that I am giving. Being a born-again Christian, I will say this is propitious, it was destined, it is honorable, it is most fantastic, for which we need to thank God. Your Excellency, sir,
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Before I receive the award, I think it's only appropriate for me to introduce members of the noble family, the Awolowo family. First will be Dr. Olatokunbo Awolowo Dosunmu. She's the Executive Secretary of the Obafemi Awolowo Foundation. Next will be two representatives of Chief Obafemi Awolowo's grandchildren, Mrs. Aderemi and Mrs. Subaya. And also the Vice President, representative. Representative of Chief Obafemi Awolowo's grandchildren, note. Now, representative of his great-grandchildren are here. Two of them. Now, these are representatives of the grandchildren and two representatives of the great-grandchildren. And of course, the big blessing is that a representative of his great-great-grandchildren is here this morning in the person of Ademorekunmi Aderemi. We thank God. I'll give the mic to my sister, Dr. Dosunmu, to say a word or two.
Your Excellency, the Vice President. May I stand? Please sit down. May I stand on existing protocols? Only on rare occasions are we allowed, as Papa's descendants, to share in the glory of his legacy, and this is one. We are most grateful to the Foundation for Ibadan Television. The gentleman sitting next to me was just asking me, why is there no Awolowo on the political scene? And I said, how long do you have? We can discuss that later. But I congratulate the organizers of this event, and I pray for sustainability for all that you want to do. There is no way that you are going to be sustainable without partnering with government. And I do that with the present company, that is assured. May I dare to look long term. I think the equivalent to NTA is BBC. There must be a reason why BBC has diversified. Television is supposed to inform, educate, and entertain. They have diversified, they have dedicated channels for each of those sectors. They also have dedicated channels for different languages within the United Kingdom and dedicated languages for other countries. So for a long-term goal, please devise wider and strategic goals, and may God be your helper. Thank you all very much.
We have a family anthem. Aṣẹ́gun àti àjògùn ní àjẹ́ nípa ẹ̀jẹ̀ Kristi àní ìṣẹ́gun. Olúwa ń bẹ fún wa a kì yóò ṣubú. Kò sóhun tó lè borí agbára rẹ̀. Aṣẹ́gun ni wá. Aṣẹ́gun ni wá. Nípa ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù bàbá fún wa ní ṣẹ́gun. Nípa ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù. Ẹni tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe
Members of the Chief Obafemi Awolowo dynasty, led by the surviving daughters, Mrs. Oyediran and Tokunbo Dosumu Awolowo. They acknowledged the role of their father in developing the nation, and we all know that on the 31st of October 1959, he launched the first television station in Africa. It was a Saturday, and that television today is 60, as we know, and it has metamorphosed from Western Nigerian television to Nigerian television, and now the Nigerian Television Authority.
Nahoro, who is also my cousin.
Please, Mr. Vice President, can you sit down, please? Oh, you give me first. Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellency, the Vice President, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, when I was asked to come here today, when I was invited to come here today, because I don't have any notes with me, so forgive me if I say one or two things. I have to really ask myself, is today a day for celebration or a day for sober reflection? And I decided it was both. But let me first talk about sober reflection, because I have to stand up here with all due respect and say, I am deeply embarrassed. Why am I deeply embarrassed? Because in 1959, when my father opened WNTV, it was the first in Africa. There was no television in South Africa. But as I'm talking to you here today, I know that the majority of us here, myself included, are now watching DSTV and GoTV and all that something. Can we please get ourselves back to the leadership position which Nigeria is supposed to have in Africa? That's sober reflection. But of course, for celebration, it is a day for celebration for the Enaro family, because my father has been given a posthumous award. Now, as Mr. Vice President was very aware, the awards industry in Nigeria is now big business. All sorts of meaningless cash and carry awards have been given, Governor of the Year, Banker of the Year, this one. All awards for excellence. The actual evidence of this excellence is not on ground. So it's no surprise that those awards are very quickly forgotten. A posthumous award, though, means that after your race has been run, your life is over. Nobody has anything to gain from recognizing you, and yet you are still recognized. It is the highest honor you can give somebody. And I thank you very much for honoring my father like that. Now, I'm not a politician, so Mr. Vice President may not enjoy this, but in terms of how we do honor our people, allow me to finish with a small story. When my father was still alive, the Edo State government decided to honor him by naming the State House of Assembly buildings after him. It was called the Chief Anthony Anaro Complex, the name which he still carries today. But a few months after, he summoned me to his house. And he said I should go there and tell them to remove his name from that building. He didn't beg them. I said, Daddy, what's the problem? He said every day he reads the news. They tore their cloth in the Chief Anaro complex. Mace was snatched in Chief Anaro complex. Tear gas was thrown in Chief Anaro complex. He said, go and tell them I don't have any compound where they fight. So they should please remove my name and call it the Muhammad Ali complex. Then anybody who wins election will now know they're going there to go and fight. Even as I stand here today, the Anaro complex is still in the news for all the wrong reasons. But the moral of the story is that when we do want to honor people, whilst it's all commendable that we give out mementos and we name places after them, perhaps it might be just more important that we honor them by standing up for what they stood up for. by believing in what they believed in, and by also teaching our children to do the same, then we will have the continuity of what we are celebrating today. I thank you for honoring my father. I thank you for listening to me. God bless Nigeria.
And I, on my part, thank you, Chief Eugene, for taking the trouble to be here. He told me when I informed him of this award that he's traveling out tonight. We worked out the logistics, so he has to be here. I said, you'll need to change your flight, or we'll work out the logistics. So thank you. We do deeply appreciate you. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, sir, may I, at this stage, also call on the third visionary, who was the first board chairman of the board of WNTV, Western Nigeria Television, first in Africa. Ably is Chief T.T. Sholaru of blessed memory, ably represented here by his firstborn daughter, Mrs. Bisi Shofunde. Thank you. Would you like to say a word?
My father, the late Reverend T.T. Sholaru, was a very, very humble man. I didn't realize just how bigger he was. To us, his children, he was daddy. To the extended family, he was Baba Bishop or Baba Sholaru. Until I think it was 1973 when they were reading his citation for his honorary doctorate degree at the University of Oxford, when they mentioned first this, first that, first the other, and I was in awe. And I looked at the man who was so simple, never once let us know just how much he achieved. That was his first recognition. But this is even more important because it means that in Nigeria, if you do well and leave a legacy, somebody will remember. And that is why this is important to the family. His wife, Lana Sholaru, I told her she's 78. She's in England. She would love to have come. She's 98. She would, yes, and very, very active. But she's in England, and the notice came very late. My other siblings are abroad. The family were scattered all over the world. But I would like to call on my husband, Sheyi Shofunde, and my son, who are here with me. Sheyi and Oluwole, where are you? They're very camera shy, just like my father. Together, on behalf of Reverend Thompson Tanimowo Sholaru family, we say thank you to the foundation, and we hope that all you want to achieve to keep these legacies going will come to pass, and that their children will also learn and be able to tell their children how great their grandfather was. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for the 3 recipients so far. Here you see I'm coming in between. Mr. Vice President, sir, some people said I did not allow the public or the general audience here to participate in the launch. And I told them I didn't forget to do it. Only I was trying to get people to go to the ATM and come back. Now I believe those who went to the ATM are already here. And this is time, by the permission of Mr. Vice President, to ask you to please donate, towards the funding of these books. Earlier today, 2 people who are not even here physically sent in their checks. My former Director General of the NTA, Reverend Shingo Wigwe, he sent in 100,000. Ambassador Ronke Adefokwe sent 50,000. So, those who have returned from the ATM, we're waiting. Yes, who is going to take the first shot, please? Okay, I think Mama Folake Shulanke is already. Can I give you a microphone, ma'am? What is the right message? You want to say something about the book? Mama was a former chairman of the board of directors of WNTW.
My learned friend of the silk and vice president of the country, Professor Yomi Oshibajo. I had no notice to come and speak, but a lawyer must always be prepared to speak. I want to thank the reviewer of the book, who did an excellent job. I've been chosen because I was chairman of WNTV WNBS 1972 to 1974. When I was the first female state commissioner under Oluwole Rotimi. So I would urge members of the public to please come forward to purchase copies of the book and to donate whatever they choose so to do. I respectfully do another presentation of this beautiful book. I will buy 2 books and I will send my check to the foundation.
A round of applause for Mommy. Thank you very much, ma'am. Next is the Director General of the NGA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad. You can just stay there.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, all other protocols duly observed. The Nigerian Television Authority is going to buy 50 copies of the book, but like the Deputy Governor of Oyo State said, he wasn't going to mention any amount because of the presence of His Excellency the Vice President. I will also not dare mention any amount, but I will get in touch. 50 copies.
And very quickly, as we thank the NTA DG, let me introduce Chief Inahoro. He wants to say something.
No, I don't want to say something. The truth is, if they weren't doing this launching, maybe would have told the Vice President that things are difficult. Now, when a man stands up and says he wants to buy 1 copy of a book for 100,000, It's going to be difficult for me now to turn around and say, oh God, there's hunger here. So thank you very much for ruining my prospects of begging the Vice President for money. I will buy the book for 100,000 and go home and start crying.
Oh my God. That's a comic relief, isn't it? Mr. Vice President, sir, I'm trying to rush over so you don't miss your flight, sir. If there's anything like that. The representatives of the governors of Edo, Ekiti states, I believe they're here, Delta. Can we have you, please? Otherwise, I want to close this and then hoping you send to us your checks. Please continue. Okay, here comes Mr. Deji Oshibogo. Sorry, Are Muyiwa Olumilua is representing the Ekiti State Governor here. You are welcome, sir. Here's the Honorable Commissioner of Information.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, I'll stand on all the protocols already established. The Deputy Governor of Oyo State said that it would be arifi for him to mention a figure while the Vice President is seated. Now, if you look at His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, and myself, you know that I'm much younger. So it will be ikojaye patapata for me to mention any figure. But I'm sure Ambassador Farombi knows that Governor Fayemi is a big fan. His father used to be a staff of WNTV, so this project is very important to him. So I can assure you that he's going to make a very handsome contribution. Thank you very much.
I also hear that Mr. Deji Oshibogo would like to make a donation too. Please come. Please come. Oh, it's from the back there.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice President, distinguished, my DG, salute. I was one of the first children on TV at WNTV. I later on got an appointment at NTA Ibadan. For whom much is given, I think much is expected. Never really had a chance to go back and give back. But today, because of the people that have plowed the field, we are here to cultivate. A seed, a fruit of mine, as mentioned by my very good friend, Eugene, will be given by my firm. Coincidentally, as a kid, I was a broadcaster. I started work as a broadcaster, and today I have a fledgling broadcast industry. So I have the three categories all corrected. I think I was well trained by Yemi Farumbi. Thank you very much. 100,000 for the occasion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yoshibogo. Okay, please come. You announce your name.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Yemisi Sholanke Koya. I'm the first daughter of Chief, I can't mention my mother's name because it's a taboo Yoruba tradition to do so, but Chief Sholanke San. And I'm very pleased to be here today because I also was raised in part by the Awolowo family, and I thank you for that honor as well. So indeed, it is a pleasure to be here because, as the Director General said, maybe Village Headmaster will be back on the television. And Your Excellency, it's wonderful to see you, Professor Yemi Oshibajo-san. In light of this, I would like to make a humble donation. There are many traditions here that have been mentioned. Can't say any figure in front of His Excellency. And definitely, I am old, so I think I'm older than a few people here, but I most certainly will buy one of the books and I'll communicate the sum of money to my elder sister, Chief Tolu Shonuga. So I congratulate the committee for this wonderful occasion, and I do certainly hope that television, as Chief Obafemi Awolowo said, will instruct, will educate, and will inform. Unfortunately, nowadays, communication has really been negatively impacted by what we observe on television. And our children are learning the wrong things on television. Whereas WNTV taught us the proper words to use. So I do hope that that will be restored to the benefit and enduring legacy of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Mr. Vice President, sir, because of time, we will just have to end it there, hoping that you get in touch with us, please. May I then invite my colleague back for the presentation of the remaining awards.
Thank you, Shegun. We have to move briskly. The next category, Your Excellency, sir, is the pioneers. These are Chief Olufalomo, Mrs. Anike Agbaje-Williams, and Prince Jide Akinbiyi. May we start with Chief Olufalomo. I beg your pardon, I should correct myself. Oba Olufalomo. My apologies. Could we have his representative here? Can I have Chief Adeshola collected on his behalf? He's right there. Yes, sir. Yourself. Yes, sir. Next.
Platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. All visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Thank you very much, ma. Next will be the representative of Prince Jide Akibiyi. Thank you very much, sir. The final category in this category for these awards, Your Excellency, sir, is that of the distinguished alumni, those who were the first to work in Western Nigeria Television, WNTV, first in Africa, on the 31st of October, 1959. I will start with Are Ogunlade, Ayo Ogunlade. His representative is here, I believe. We'll move on. Oh, fantastic. Chief Sonya Onyeson will be receiving on behalf of Are Ayo Ogunlade. Next will be Engineer Vincent Maduka. His representative is here, I believe, Mrs. Ronke Okusoya. Is she with us here? Can I ask, is she here? Can I ask you, sir, the GNTA to receive on his behalf? Thank you, sir. Next will be Chief Tunde Oshobi. Who will be represented here by Giwa BC Rodipe. Thank you, sir. Finally, last but not the least, as they say, Mr. Bruce Oviagele. Mr. Bruce Oviagele. Thank you very much. At this point, we have ended the section on awards and awardees. I'll call on my colleague, Shegun Aderiye, Ambassador, to continue.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice President, sir, can we stop the music? Please. May I announce that copies of this book are available for sale just at the foyer out there. Make sure you pick a copy before you go at 2,500 naira only. Yes, we are gradually coming to the end of this program, but it definitely will not end without hearing from our Baba, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's my honor and privilege right now to call onto the microphone Professor Yemi Oshibajo, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, SAN GCON.
Thank you very much. Please sit. Before I make my remarks, let me just say that all of those who have used my presence as a cover for not making generous donations should realize that I will be waiting for them out there to collect those donations, and I'm assisted by policemen and security Also, they don't escape. The Deputy Governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Engineer Aderemi Rauf Olaniyan, the representative of the Governor of Ekiti State, who is the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Muyiwa Olumilua, the representative of the Governor of Osun State, who is the Secretary to the Government of the State, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, the Honorable Minister for Information and Culture, represented today by the DG NTA, Alhaji Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, the chairman and founder of the Foundation for Ibadan Television, Ambassador Dr. Yemi Farumbi, the representatives of the Awolowo family, Reverend Mrs. Tola Oyediran, and Ambassador Dr. Olatokunbo Awolowo Dosunmu, the representative of the Enahoro family, of Chief Anthony Enahoro, Chief Eugene Enahoro. Eugene Enahoro, by the way, is a classmate of mine. We are in school, and so anything he said about donating 100,000, we've already cancelled that. So we're really looking at something. So we're looking at something much better. Mrs. Bisi Shofunde, the representative of the Sholaro family, and my learned friend of the Silk, Chief Mrs. Folake Sholanke, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and former chair of the of WNTV, Chief Bisi Rodipe, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a special honor to be here today to celebrate the pioneers of television in Africa. Exactly 60 years ago today, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Premier of the Western Region, then flanked by the Governor General, Sir John Rankin, Chief Anthony Enahoro, who was the region's Minister of Information, and Chief Titi Sholaro, first board chair of the Western Nigeria Broadcasting Corporation, formally entered the history books by commissioning the WNTV, first in Africa. And this was ahead of China. China only got television in 1962. Ahead of Canada. Canada got television in 1967. Ahead of New Zealand in 1960. And several European countries, including the Netherlands, who only got television in 1960, Ireland in 1961, Greece in 1966, and Malta in 1962. So it was not just first in Africa, it was first in many parts of Asia. And of course, as you can imagine, even in Europe. We do not even talk at all about Eastern Europe. The event was historic for three reasons. Firstly, it demonstrated the capacity of the Nigerian mind to conceive of and achieve anything, no matter how complex or difficult. Secondly, it demonstrates how visionary leadership can inspire and lead people from the lowest levels to the highest points of human imagination. Thirdly, it exemplifies the use of public resources for the public good. The WNTV was built to inform and to educate and to entertain. And as Papa himself said on that day 60 years ago, television is a powerful influence for good. It would ordinarily have been unimaginable that somehow, in a part of the then yet to be independent Nigeria, a man and his team would build a television station in 3 months. The first, as we have seen in many parts of the world. But for the man it was, Papa Obafemi Awolowo, it wasn't so surprising because he had laid out a plan for the rapid development of the Western region, which included physical infrastructure and human capacity development. The plan included free and compulsory education. As of the date of the inauguration of WNTV, almost 1 million children were in school in the Western region. 41% of the Western region's budget was spent on education. The highest proportion at that time anywhere in the world. In the free world in particular, it was obvious that those who understood the value of education used it as a powerful propellant for the advancement of their peoples, and Papa clearly understood that so long ago. So today, as we celebrate the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the WNTV, we also celebrate what is possible in our nation and in our states. We celebrate also what vision, hard work, and a commitment to the public good can do. But as Ambassador Farumbi has said, the celebration of the phenomenal achievement in 1959 would be wasted unless we recognize that the achievement represents sturdy shoulders for us to stand on, and that today we can do more. And that the vision of Awo was to build a people capable of excelling beyond even his own achievements. Every generation has a historic responsibility to reach for the highest peaks that human capacity can achieve. Today, we're at the most advanced moment in science, in technology, and innovation in human history. The mobile phone, the smartphones that you have in your hands, have more computing power than all of the computing power that the Apollo spaceship that took men to the moon had in 1969. Today, every smartphone has more computing power than all that the Apollo spaceship had in 1969. So all things are possible, and we are able. Let us be inspired by Papa's words that our only limit is our imagination. Congratulations to the Foundation for Ibadan Television, and to all of us, friends, families, and admirers of the pioneers. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Shall we rise and give a bigger ovation? Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this program virtually. But before we close, please allow me to call Reverend Abiodun Aladikomo, this foundation.
Calling for the celebration of what is possible in Nigeria. What we have seen happen in the past 60 years of television in Nigeria is a pointer to greater achievements that we can have with good visions. As the event is gradually winding down, it is also worthy of note that issues have been raised from this book launch. As the
and the wonderful team he assembled when he was Premier of Western Nigeria, we are humble enough and wise enough to be recipients of this wonderful, excellent spirit. That excellent spirit birthed what people regard as the best, the first of its kind that ever came out of Africa. WNTV, WNBS, exactly 60 years ago today, in this same ancient city of Ibadan, was launched. It's a product of the wisdom of great people who believe in the greatness of the black man, irrespective of whatever people are saying outside of this continent. And so I want you to join me first and foremost to thank the Almighty God who has made this possible. He's the one who gave the idea to our forebears, and they use it beautifully. That's why we are celebrating today. So to God be all the glory, all the honor, all the adoration, and we thank him. Your Excellency, Pastor, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are very grateful to you. You had just a few days' notice, and you made it an Omoluabi par excellence. I say quietly behind you that, and I'm proud to say publicly today, that you are the Joseph of our time. Those who know what I'm saying, we know what I'm saying, and they will acknowledge it. Thank you very much for coming out of your very, very tight schedule to give honor to whom honor is due. And the Almighty God will honor you. I can tell you, sir, this is the beginning, it's not the end of good things that will happen to Nigeria. The greatness of Nigeria cannot be contested. I also want to appreciate the governors, the governor of Oyo State, ably represented by somebody I can now say is part of the NTA family, but we started as WNTV. Engineer Rauf Olaniyan, Deputy Governor of Oyo State, representing the governor. Sheyi Makinde, they have been so good to us. We have worked hard in the last 1 year, and we have received your support all along. Thank you very much. I also want to appreciate the governor of Osun State, who is ably represented here by one of our own, the Secretary to the Governor of Osun State, Wole Oyebamiji. Thank you for representing your governor ably. I also want to appreciate my brother Muyiwa Olumilua from Ekiti State, who is representing the governor of Ekiti State. Right from the word go, they have been supporting us. They knew exactly what we wanted to do, all these governors. We didn't have to wind to get their support. And today we are grateful that the governor is represented. And there are so many people that we should thank. I want to appreciate the information minister, ably represented by one of our own, Ibn Yakubu Mohammed, the present DG of NTA. You are carrying the flag. We are proud of you. We started together in television, he in the north, we here, and I can assure Nigeria that he rightly deserves his reappointment for the second term as DG. Mama Shulanke, I want to thank you very much. Mama, at our old age, we started this project together early in the year, and it led us out to move from one point to the other, to mobilize support for this project. And here we are today. We bless God for your life, and God will continue to strengthen you. The Awolowo dynasty, today is your day. My sister, my spiritual sister, Reverend Oyediran, thank you very much for mobilizing your people, particularly the ambassador, Your Excellency Ma. We went to Ikene, we were well received by you. You encouraged us, and that really helped us to get to where we are today. We cannot but continue to thank you. I don't want to leave anybody out. Eugene, thank you very much, sir, for representing Papa. Papa went to England and he came back. He sold the idea to Chief Awolowo. Chief Awolowo, being a very wise man, who is always listening to wonderful ideas, embrace it immediately. And he set up the necessary committee to ensure that television in Africa came out of this city of Ibadan in Nigeria. So God bless you for coming, and you go back home safely. I thank everybody here present, particularly the members of the Alumni Association, headed by our brother, our boss, Dr. Yemi Farumbi, he read geography. But being a very cerebral person, he's a man of many parts. Over the years, he has developed himself to become what he is today. But what we know him best for is that he's a leader of men. Night and day. This man, throughout this preparation, there was no single time I called him in the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., that his phone was switched off. He was always ready, and we thank you for your leadership. All our members who have worked so well, I won't name names now. All the alumni association members, you have been wonderful. It is just the beginning. It is just the beginning. From here, we are moving on to carry the flag, flying. The television, the broadcasting institute we are setting up, my DG. Please pardon me. Some of the things we are going to do after today, because what we want to do really is to sensitize all of us that where we started 60 years ago and how far we have come now is just a beginning. From now on, we want to show to the whole world that our leaders who are there, who worked for excellence in everything they did, that their memory will be perpetuated in excellent performance in whatever we do. So we are going to do more and more. I want to say that all the governors of the southwestern state, including what we used to know as the western region of Nigeria, which included Edo State, which included Delta, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, Ondo, have been very, very supportive. We visited them, they encouraged us, they have supported us morally, and some of them financially. We appreciate all of you. And I want to thank everybody here present today, and I want to congratulate everybody for being part of history that we are making again today. And I'm sure in a couple of years' time, people will gather together, maybe some of us will be there, some of us will have gone, to celebrate, to re-celebrate what we are celebrating today. May celebration not cease in our homes. Thank you very much for coming. Safe journeys back home. We thank everybody that has been part of this Ibadan School of Government and Public Policy. They have been very supportive. All the media houses, we appreciate you, starting with NTA, the private stations. We appreciate all of you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Very quickly, Mr. Vice President, I'm instructed to announce the account number of FITAC, where you can drop whatever it is. Access Bank PLC number 081 84 88 692. 081 84 88 692. Access Bank. Shall we rise for the national anthem, please? Thank you and goodbye. This is Shegun Adiri.
Kemi, it's been a great gathering of the surviving pioneer staff of the WNTV, WMBS, and generation of the three visionaries, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Chief Anthony Enhauru, and Chief Sholaru, the television industry, who are presently serving and upholding the vision of the founding fathers. And on behalf of the outside broadcast crew of the largest television in Africa, the NTA, we thank you for being part of these beautiful 60th anniversary celebrations of the first television in Africa now, Nigerian Television Authority. And from the International Conference Center, I'm Kemi Akiwande and Kemi Osho saying,
thanks for being with us. And we promise we'll keep the flag flying.
On all our social media platforms, Facebook at NTA Network